It's just a phone call away. Bye.
You don't want to lead her on, Sam. Veronica doesn't have our constitution.
Lead her? She was delivering fish and chips.
Well, I hope your petty cash person gives her a nice tip. Now, the last time I was here, we were talking about our, how do you theater people put it? Act 2.
Were we?
Yes, I believe you were going to show me the director's private chambers.
The director doesn't actually have anything like that.
Well, there must be some place you can go to think, or whatever, in private.
The crew is kind of everywhere right now.
Give them a break. I'm sure they've all been working very hard. Tell them to go build sandcastles for a while. We shouldn't need more than an hour or two.
Sam! I'm gonna have to tear up the entire lighting design for Dolly. I've tried it half a dozen different ways, and it's just not working.
You had a great idea for lighting, James. We were just talking about this. Give it one more try, okay?
Okay, I guess I'll try.
That boy seems flustered, Sam. A good leader needs to know when his team needs to take a blow. And speaking of blows...
Sam, did you know there's a live electrical wire right over there?
I was aware of that, yes.
Well, someone needs to take care of that. It's dangerous.
James, I think that someone is supposed to be you.
Okay, never mind. I'll take care of it.
He's a busy bee, isn't he?
No one works harder than James.
I believe we were talking about finding a quiet place. What about the dressing rooms? There wouldn't be anyone in there now, would there?
Lizzie, here's the thing.
It's a disaster.
What's a disaster, Ellie?
Put on your Sunday clothes. I don't know if it's the dancers or me, but I'm at my wit's end.
Didn't you tell me this morning that things were going great?
No, that was before this afternoon's rehearsal. Now
I'm sorry, Lizzie. I think my crew needs me.
Are you sure a break wouldn't be a better option?
I don't think so. No.
Well, I guess I'll have to take a rain check then. Although I just hate to wait. I'll expect you to make it up to me.
She's quite a handful, huh?
You could say that. What's the problem with Sunday clothes?
Oh, it's great. Do you have time to take a look?
But I thought you just said...
Now the mixing board has... Oh, hey, Ellie. Is that Barrows woman gone?
She just left. What's going on with the mixing board?
Oh, no, never mind. I'll take care of it.
Hey, does anyone know if this kind of snake is poisonous?
Oh, there are snakes in Plymouth?
I think I'd better find out what that's about. I'm exhausted. It seems like every time we fix one problem, two more pop up. Like a constant state of chaos.
Yeah, but chaos is your ally, isn't it?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, when things are chaotic, you get to be the man in charge.
I'd be the man in charge whether things were chaotic or not. I'm supposed to be the man in charge.
But you can be much more of a hero when there's turmoil.
Hero? I don't need to be a hero.
Honestly?
Honestly.
Being a hero has nothing to do with it. When did I ever say I wanted to be a hero?
Actions speak louder than words, Sam. Maybe you should listen to what they're saying.
Excuse me, young man. It's, Scotty, right?
Yes, sir. Dr. Barrows.
Have you seen Elizabeth? Someone told me that she'd come to the theater, but I can't seem to find her.
I'm afraid I haven't.
Oh, must have missed her. I see you're working hard.
There are an awful lot of costumes to make for Hello Dolly. I'm just trying to keep from falling behind.
Yeah, I suppose it would be much easier if all the actors could go on stage in slacks and polos, but the effect wouldn't be the same, would it?
That would be an abomination, sir.
Yeah, I suppose it would. You know, my wife used to spend lots of time with the costume designers.
Really? Lizzie hasn't been to the shop at all since I've been here.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about Elizabeth. I'm talking about my first wife, Patricia. I lost her 8 years ago to cancer. We've been married for 3.5 decades.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, that's nice of you to say. I still say good morning to her every day when I wake up. Anyway, she used to spend lots of time here, and she was particularly fascinated with the costumes. I think they transported her.
That's my job.
Indeed it is. There was one man who worked here for several seasons. Yeah, you remind me of him, actually. Patricia would spend hours with him in this shop. If she Clearly wasn't his type, if you know what I mean. I might have been jealous.
Yes, everyone's wives are safe with us.
You remind me quite a bit of him, actually. Has this always been your calling?
You mean...
Costumes.
Ah, right, costumes. Well, for as long as I can remember, my sketch pad and my sewing kit have been my closest companions. That was true before I went overseas, and it was much truer when I got back.
Overseas?
Nom, sir.
You served.
They weren't so picky when they were escalating the war. They even let guys like me in when I enlisted.
Enlisted? Geez, well, thank you, soldier. And I didn't mean to imply...
Imply away, Dr. Barrows. You couldn't possibly imply anything that hasn't been implied to me before.
I assume you left your sewing kit stateside.
You mean it might have been tough on me to show my preferences while I was in country? Let me put it to you this way. My CO is Staff Sergeant Bert Leary. He read in my file that my career objective was to be a clothing designer, and Staff Sergeant Leary thought that this deserved special, unrelenting scorn. So, of course, the other guys in my unit followed his lead and piled on.
Oh, that must have been tough.
Well, tough kind of came with the territory.
Did you see any fighting?
Once, we landed in the Central Highlands in the middle of the rainy season. After that, a couple dozen of us were sent north of Kontum City. Strictly for recon, we were told. That's why we weren't prepared for the ambush that came after lights out one night. There was shouting and shooting, and then, when the worst started to die down, there was screaming and wailing. We lost 3 men. We were miles from any medical support, and there were a lot of wounded. I counted 6 guys on the verge of bleeding out. I didn't even stop to think. I ran and grabbed my sewing kit. Somebody stood behind me holding a flashlight on a guy's stomach wound. I threaded a needle, and I knotted the thread, but when I went to make the first stitch, my hands were shaking so badly I dropped the needle into the wound. I fished it out, wiped it off, and took a deep breath. And that's when I felt someone's hand on my shoulder. I looked up into the face of Staff Sergeant Leary, who nodded and said, "You got this, soldier." And I did, you know. I'd been sewing since I was 10 years old. I got to all 6 in time, keeping them together long enough for the medevac copters to show up. Leary and the others didn't give me so much trouble after that.
That's a terrifying story, Scotty.
Yeah. And it doesn't get any less terrifying for me. I've seen it in my head at least 1,000 times by now. You know when it isn't so terrifying, sir? When I'm working on these costumes, or when I'm sketching some new clothing ideas. When I'm doing something like that, doing something I love, the demons leave me alone. That's true for a lot of us. None of us are Broadway bound, well, except Sam, I'd say. But all of us get to contribute a lot of love when we're doing this, and we get to keep the evil outside the door.
I'm glad this theater's here for you. I'm glad that you're here for it. Patricia really would have liked you.
Sorry I never got the chance to meet her, sir.
Scotty, major costume disaster down
Excuse me, Dr. Barrows. It appears that I'm needed.
Yes, of course. The world is full of surprises, isn't it, Patricia? Gotta give these kids credit. They're sure working their tails off. I wish we were doing this together, darling. We never know what's waiting in the wings. We practice every step to no avail. We drink in the applause and never give a thought to how we fail. You think tomorrow is another day. You see it standing clearly there in view. And suddenly a part is written out, and nothing anyone can do. There isn't any reason for rehearsal. No point in memorizing every rhyme. The only things that run the show in life are love and loss and time. So put this with your money in the bank. and note the bass line as it softly sings. You think you run the show, but we never know. We never know what's waiting in the wings. We never know what's waiting in the wings. Just another old forgotten theater. Just another building in our stable. Father said to sell it, then I looked into your eyes. Told my father, take it off the table. Hand in hand we put it all together. Who knew all the magic it would bring? What rhymes with Patricia, I would ask myself. Everything. So we built this gem in the heart of town. 30 years went by, then the lights came down. So put this with your money in the bank. Note this most undirectable of things. You think you run the show, but we never know. We never know what's waiting in the wings. And now that you've flown, what would change had I known? We never know what's waiting in the wings. We never know what's waiting in the wings.
Hey, Sam.
James, I just saw you 10 minutes ago. There's another disaster already?
Oh, no disaster. Well, let me rephrase that. There's no disaster that we can't handle.
Then what's up?
I just wanted to say that I think Veronica seems great.
Yeah, she is great.
Yeah, not like Lizzie Barrows. That one is, what's the word, terrifying?
As far as I know, Lizzie has no criminal record, James.
That just means she's gotten away with it.
I'll protect you from Lizzie Barrows, don't worry.
Well, I'm not really worried about you protecting me from her. It's you. Anyway, it seems like there's kind of a spark between you and Veronica.
I do like her a lot. She's just been pretty good at keeping me at arm's length, though.
No, she likes you. I can tell. At least I think I can tell. To be honest, I don't really have a clue when it comes to romantic relationships.
What do you mean? You've had girlfriends. There was that one in sophomore year, right?
Monica? I think it might be stretching it to call her a girlfriend. We dated for a grand total of 3 times, and then I never saw her again.
Well, there have been others, right?
We might need to get a ruling from the judges on that.
I don't understand it. You're such a great guy.
Yeah, I'm the kind of guy that every woman wants to introduce to their mom as a buddy from college.
No, that's not true at all.
No, you don't have to try to make me feel better. I have fully accepted it. It's always been the case. Growing up, I was such a skinny kid, out of breath a lot. Sometimes my skin would turn blue, which is not a great look. Then when I was 7, they found a hole in my heart, and they fixed it, more or less. Left a big scar on my chest, in case you're wondering why I wear a shirt at the beach. The doctors at the Army Draft Induction Center saw that on my chart and immediately stamped me with a 4F. Girls tend to avoid 4Fers. I mean, think about it. It's like the government's warning them that you're damaged goods. I can't say I blame them. I've always felt not all there.
I didn't know about the hole in the heart thing.
I try not to advertise it. I guess I've been thinking about this a lot because of you and Veronica. Well, that and being around Ellie all the time.
Ellie?
Well, I assumed you knew. I've been pining for her since freshman year.
How did I not know that either? I mean, it makes sense. Everyone loves Ellie.